let's go live with James speaking, trendingsites.io. How would you like it that next time that you are using ChatGPT and you're just poking around, maybe searching, maybe asking some questions on the best way to do something, and a button popped up or some pictures popped up of something that you could buy that was related directly to what you were chatting about. And in fact, you could actually buy it directly in ChatGPT. You wouldn't have to go visit the site, nothing like that. It's just put your credit card details into Stripe and you've actually got everything ordered and on its way. No shopping cart, no visiting other sites, directly within ChatGPT. Well, that's available today in the United States, starting off with Etsy products. However, there was also agreements announced with Shopify, and this is all put together with Stripe. Now, if you're a course creator, content creator, anyone who's in the education space, you know, or at least the majority of you are using Stripe as a payment gateway. So what I want to do today is I want to talk just a little bit about how this works, how you can use it even if you're not doing educational or digital information products, and just be prepared for it, because I think this is one of these big items as to what's happening in the AI space. They got to monetize what it is that they're doing, and two things have happened in the last week that lead me to believe that that's where it's going. The first one is that you can now buy directly within ChatGPT. The second one is that they started their own social network with that Sora 2 a launcher announcement, the mobile app earlier in the week. So let's go take a look at it, and then I'm going to tell you what this means to you if you're selling especially digital products, which is obviously the piece that I'm more interested in. Now, first thing is I actually did a video 5 months ago, and I'll just show this to you because it is kind of interesting how things have changed, and I'll pull this one up. I did this video, and it was ChatGPT's new shopping assistant. This changes everything, and I did this April 29, so a couple months ago. And what had originally happened here is that when you were talking or asking about a product, it would bring up the different products that were related to your conversation, and it would show you some, and you could click it, and in the side panel, it would open up links to purchase those different products that it had recommended. And I thought that was really cool. I did a video about it, but the process of that was you saw the products in ChatGPT, it showed you some options, you clicked on the option, and you were brought out of ChatGPT to go to the website for that product. This fundamentally changes it. What does it do? Well, the way that this one works, and there's a couple things here just to kind of keep your eyes on. They've announced this new thing called what's the name of it? Agentic Commerce Protocol. So what this means is this is a protocol that they're making public, and they want it to be kind of the standard for having agents or AI tools slash automations be able to make purchases directly within AI. Now, we've been talking about having the browser become AI. We've now got applications like the social network become AI. And now we've got the back end of it is like, how do we actually make purchases directly in it? So this protocol, ACP, is kind of the same thing as that MCP that Anthropic launched, I guess, a year and a half ago, which is the Model Context Protocol, which is the thing that lets agents talk to all of these different tools. So ACP is out, it's public, it's available to the developers, and this setup is really, really simple to add. So the way that it works is just look at the screen here for a second, and I'll put the links to these obviously so you can take a look at them and see which one fits best for you. But if you look at this, what happens is it'll actually, now I'm just gonna be upfront, this is available for Etsy today in the United States, but if you're having a chat right within it and asking about something, it'll provide some options. Today it's in Etsy, but you'd be able to just click, and when you click, the side panel opens up, but you can say buy now, and it will actually bring up the details, and you can purchase it directly within ChatGPT on the desktop or on the phone. Okay, so this is in the application, it's not taking you anywhere. So having said that, what does this mean to me if you're selling digital products? Well, that changes things a little bit, right? They're using Etsy as an example or something that needs to be shipped. They have announcements, and they did the announcements here. I'll just open this one up here. Uh, this one was the announcement. And again, this was from 29th of September, a couple days ago. And what they are is ChatGPT users in the United States can buy from Etsy merchants and soon from Shopify merchants in the chat using a checkout powered by Stripe. Okay, so again, these are the ones that we're kind of using already. Stripe, majority of people, at least in North America and many of the countries that I deal with, are using a shopping cart or a direct button that goes to Stripe that takes care of the payments. So Stripe is integrated into this, and they've got an actual standard for moving forward. Now, what are kind of the big pieces here? And how does it affect us if we're going to be selling information products? Or digital products. Now, normally what happens is that if you are selling something like a product, this is kind of the way that it works right now. For example, let's say you're selling a course or a membership. I'll just open one up here and I'll show you one of the examples of something that I'm doing here. If I open up my training sites site and I just go in, and if someone wants to be a paid member of the community, what I have is I have a traditional sales page. And in that sales page, I have a purchase button. And that purchase button goes to my shopping cart, which in this case is WooCommerce. And in my shopping cart, whenever anyone makes a payment, it's done through Stripe. So this is what a lot of people do if they're selling information products. Maybe they only have a service, a subscription, maybe it's a simple download, but they have a sales page. And you're probably wondering, well, why or how can my sales page show up in one of these particular searches that someone's doing ChatGPT in? How is this actually going to work? Well, we're going to get to that in a second. I just wanted to show you here, this is what normally happens, right? You go to click a link and it goes and you do a purchase. Now you can see here on mine, we've actually got, that is the Stripe card, so people can pay directly right with Stripe directly in my shopping cart. So that's one way of doing it. The other thing you might find is someone may just go and click shop and they may be directly in the shopping cart and not use, as an example, we'll just open up here. They're in the shopping cart and they may take a look and go through the catalog in the shopping cart. Now, if they add it to the cart and they go purchase, it goes through the exact same process. There's an order page, they fill in their credit card details, and it's done. So we're going to have to make some choices here on how we actually figure out, first of all, how are we going to get listed when someone's in ChatGPT? How's it going to figure out that, in fact, hey, someone has something to sell and I want to be able to have it show up in ChatGPT? So that's the first thing. The second thing is that if they find me, how am I going to make sure that that sales page and the link that I have just is available for a purchase through Stripe in the actual app? So these are things that are coming out we're going to be able to have to deal with pretty quickly. So I'm just going to go through some of the limitations / things that are going on right now and why it's important. So the way that it's going to work, or the way that it's set up, and I will just kind of talk about this first, because the way that the protocol works, and this is just from the notes and the research that I've done. Remember, this is only available for Etsy and Stripe right now, but they said Shopify and Etsy and then Stripe will all be there. So they're building in Shopify shopping cart into it as well. But here's my understanding of how it works. When you are in Etsy and or you have Stripe, there's a little protocol that says make this available for Agentic commerce protocol. It's like, yes, I'm available to purchase directly within ChatGPT. So Etsy has that set up. Stripe is also there, so it knows that, hey, this product's available for purchase directly in ChatGPT. So what's going to happen is if you have a shopping cart like you normally do, or a sales page like you normally do, and you're selling a digital product or a subscription or a course or an educational service, There's something that's going to have to happen. If you are just using Stripe, you'll have to enable that service or your account for that ACP so it knows it's available for purchase. That's the first part. Second thing is if you're using a shopping cart, for example, WooCommerce on WordPress, and or the one that we're starting to use, which is Fluent Cart, which works in our privately branded campus, when that's set up, they are going to have to say WooCommerce and Fluent, they're going to have to at some point just say, hey, we're available for in-app purchases with ChatGPT. They haven't done that yet. So it's not going to show up, but it's going to have to show up. And the plugins that we use are going to have to be able to say, hey, we're available to do that. So it's not there yet, but it's going to be coming. Now, there's one other thing that kind of comes to mind for me in this, is that if I'm playing around with my products and services, and I have to make some decisions now, how am I actually going to make my sales page available? And how am I going to pay attention to, is it going to be found or is it going to show up in ChatGPT when people are asking about it? And this is kind of where I started at the beginning, right? It's like, am I, I'm in ChatGPT and I want to find out how to do something, or I'm looking for a course, I'm trying to learn something about something. Is my course going to come up as an option? So we're going to have to get a little more strategic if that is a opportunity for us to take advantage to sell our digital products and or services. How are we going to make sure it shows up? We either have to have a sales page that has specific information that is pertinent to what people are searching about or asking about directly within ChatGPT, or we're going to have the shopping cart that has all sorts of details that is referencing again and is available as part of the responses that ChatGPT makes. Now, there's a whole bunch of things that they actually said about it. And let me just pull up these ones here because I think these are the ones that are important. For us, anyway, again, we'll go through 5 different things that are important and then 7 things kind of to be aware of just after this. So here's kind of the big thing. So OpenAI announced instant checkout, Etsy directly in chat, done. So the checkout is by a standard, which is open to developers, done. Users don't pay extra. The merchants pay a small fee. So ChatGPT is going to earning a little bit of money on this for any successful purchases. The first version is for single item purchases only. So multi-tier carts, more merchants, Shopify, etc., are on or in the roadmap. The agreements have been set. It hasn't been rolled out yet. Merchants remain in control of fulfillment, returns, customer support. ChatGPT acts as an intermediary, passing order and payment information. So this means that any of the stuff about a checkout, cart page, follow-up, that stuff is done by you still, but it's going through right there in ChatGPT, not originally actually through your site. And here's the part, I don't know how they're going to do this. It says OpenAI emphasizes that instant checkout items are not given preferential ranking. The ChatGPT product results, the ranking is based on relevance, price, availability, merchant being the primary seller. So what happens to Amazon here, etc. So this big pivot is AI helping you find products. A lot of people are using ChatGPT to replace Google search, and they're asking for opinions and feedback and solutions on something. Now it's helping people actually make the purchase as it comes in directly within it. So kind of neat. It's open source and it's available to all of the merchants. Now, the other thing I was playing around here, I was just trying to figure out how does this fit in. If you're going to be looking at this as another opportunity for you to actually go and sell things when it comes to products and services that are digital, you can start buying physical products, your merch, any of the other templates or other physical things that you do. Don't be afraid to start making those available, more so than here's my course. Think of it as another revenue stream or another opportunity to monetize all of that great information, processes, and things that you're talking about. Anytime someone's asking for a recommendation on something, it could see your product. Maybe that's a book that you physically ship. Maybe that's some kind of journal or template or anything that actually gets shipped. So kind of think about that as something else that you may want to offer and put or make available in your catalog of products and services. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen here either too in terms of proactively. If someone's asking about something, is it your or a link or a buy now link to your particular information that's going to show up in the person's chat that they're doing? Um, and if we're able to really adapt to this and think about how are we going to integrate this into our business, we have another opportunity to be discovered over and above someone finding our site in search, someone finding it on social media, coming to our website, us doing a YouTube video, and hoping that someone comes to the website. And it's all about how we do the packaging and all of the metadata around the products and services that we have that's going to help us be discovered. The friction, one of the things when you're doing online purchases, you have to remember that you want to reduce the number of steps or even parts of the process that require the person to think about what it is that they're doing. The examples that they showed in the actual screen that was here, and again, I'll make sure to put this link in. When they're doing this purchase, it's like they're in ChatGPT, they click the button, and there's just the Stripe Pay Now button. And in many cases, they've got that Stripe feature where it's saved your credit card details and you're just clicking buy it. So there's not going to the website, there's not adding stuff to the cart and looking at a checkout page. It's just like see, buy, minimum friction. Now, that's a good thing, but it also means right now there's no such thing as order bumps, upsales, downsales, because it's not done on your website in the cart, it's done in the actual AI tool. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see what happens there as well. And for us, it's more about how can we monetize more than courses and subscriptions. There's all sorts of revenue streams that are available to us inside and outside of our privately branded campus and outside of our traditional thinking about courses. So open your mind a little bit. Think about other things that you can start adding to your catalog of products and services and being able to explain it in a way that when ChatGPT is looking for answers or suggestions, that's one of or your catalog of products and services is something that comes up and makes it available. So, if you've got physical goods or just digital goods, think of how can I tie or bundle both of them together so that these are some things that may lead to each other. And I think, the first mover advantage, you can, Etsy's available now, Shopify is going to be there. It is a public protocol. So I wouldn't be surprised that if it's right now, it's October, we're looking, 2-3 months. Many of the people who are using WordPress and or third-party services, they're going to be able to just put that little switch on that says, hey, ACP enabled, I'm ready to be purchased directly within ChatGPT. It's not a big jump from one of the documentation that I read. It's right in Stripe that just kind of broadcasts, I'm ACP ready products. So the other things we got to kind of think of here is that, if I'm only focusing on this, I'm not saying get rid of your sales page. I'm not saying, you only have to sell directly within ChatGPT. I don't really know what's going to happen in terms of what's going to be offered, right? They were talking about, that there's no preference going to be shown to things. Well, I'll believe it when I see it, kind of. So I wouldn't just focus on this. I would just make sure that I make it available as part of the other things that are doing. It says right now that it is a small transaction fee that is paid by the actual merchant, not the buyer, but actually the merchant. So you're going to have to figure out, if I'm selling a lower ticket offer, how much is that? Is it actually worth it to make it available? And I don't know what's going to happen with trust and fraud, right? Are people going to be uncomfortable with just clicking a buy now button and hope that it gets delivered or the download link is available? the demo examples that I saw, it was like, hey, thank you very much. You'll get a confirmation email. They were selling a physical product. They had to put in an email and address, or I think it was already in the Stripe uh, feature in the one that they showed. But it's like you're still hoping that it's actually going to get delivered, but you didn't go to Etsy to actually purchase it. You purchased it directly in AI. And again, the competition is going to intensify with this. So if you're selling a standard course or a subscription to a topic that has 1,000 vendors doing it, how or what's going to make your offer different, that it's going to show up answering the questions or the comments or the chats that people are having directly within ChatGPT. And again, I have no idea what's going to happen with regulations or transparency or ethics. Are people going to be selling their own content or someone else's content? Is it going to be an affiliate relationship? They said it isn't, but I'm not really sure, again, what's going to happen on that. And again, multi-item carts, information on multiple taxes, all of that stuff isn't quite there yet. So having said that, what are we supposed to do about it? Just remember that this is coming and it's not going to go away. This is exactly an open protocol that these AI tools have to use because they have to make money from more than just saying, here's my AI upgraded subscription where you can get a little more use of the AI tool. I think Sora 2, the one they just did where they've got their own social network, we're going to start seeing ads and all sorts of stuff within that, just like other social media tools. They're going to monetize it there. They've got a really cool Sora 2 app. There's a number of videos about that as well. And then secondly, they're going to start building commerce into what they're already doing. So do you want to use that? Is it something that is important to your education business, whether it be a course, a subscription, a template, a tool, coaching, all cool things coming your way, whether you like it or not. So pay attention. I'll put the links to this one just so you can see kind of what was going on, where it works, where it fits in. I'll also make sure that all of these notes go directly into trainingsites.io/join. If you haven't seen them, a couple cheat sheets that I put together, and again, an explanation of this video in a little more detail. So like and subscribe, give me a thumbs up, all of that good stuff. Love to see you on the inside. Take care and expect the best.